Hey everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022 and the weekly wrap up, a teeny tiny little show where I share my personal choice of top 5 educational tweets from the past week. Why? Well, because Twitter is a goldmine of tips, hacks, and info. And if you don't have a personal learning network, or if you're a little wary of Twitter, please allow me to be your guide because social media isn't for everybody. And frankly, you're just super busy. So I'm more than happy to curate good things for you. Now let's get to it with the top 5 tweets for the new year in no particular order. I know from my Twitter feed that there are so very many educators out there who had to start 2022 remotely. That stinks, yes. But the beauty of Twitter is the sheer number of awesome sauce people willing to help each other out. Like Maryland teacher Terry Dove, for example. This 5 minute find it idea is a seriously legit way to build community in less than ideal learning conditions, and it gets kiddos simultaneously moving and thinking. Terry makes the best of a bad situation while keeping learning and her students' mental needs at the forefront. Terry, this idea is a lifesaver. Teachers, if you give this a try, please let Terry know and please share your creations with the rest of us by tagging them out. Whether you're teaching remotely, concurrently, or in person, this next tweet, shared by Missouri physics teacher Joe Miliano, solves a problem that many of us are facing: how to keep students on track, engaged, and continuing to learn despite the disruptions that pandemic teaching has thrown at us. Joe uses just a simple spreadsheet. That's it. No website, no nothing crazy, just with links to in class activities, makeup work, and homework so that his kiddos don't waste time or feel like they're floundering. It's a live document that Joe updates daily. And in his words, students are to treat the spreadsheet, quote, like a weather forecast. Closer predictions are more accurate than future predictions, but we don't know what happens until the day of. And since he spends only about 5 to 10 minutes updating it per day, it's a doable solution to replicate and customize for your own classroom in these crazy times. Thanks, Joe. I cannot say it enough. Twitter is the greatest PLN, and teachers are so very generous in sharing their stuff. Educator and coach George Janateus, oh, I hope I said that correctly, from Toronto, has created some literacy resources for you to use. If you click the link in the show notes, you'll gain access to the links to those creations: book club activities, book sampling, discussion prompts, and writing metacognition activities, a gold mine. So why start from scratch when George so kindly gives you a leg up? Again, be sure to check out the show notes to access the links from his tweet. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, and involve me and I learn. As educators, we're pretty familiar with Benjamin Franklin's wise words, and I'm sure many of us have this same quotation hanging somewhere in our classroom. Thanks to Tim Cavey, host of the Teachers on Fire podcast, I just discovered my new favorite brain game, the Wiki game. Think 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but with academic material. Students have to get from topic 1 to topic 2, clicking on links found only within Wikipedia. In fact, there's even a website phone app called the Wiki Game that tracks the time and number of clicks it takes each player. This got me thinking, why not create your own Wiki Game for your content area and then have students use Flipgrid, say, to record their screens and justify their thought processes as to why they clicked the way they did. Metacognition. And finally, if you're lucky enough to be teaching in person right now, and if you're that teacher looking for a way to connect with kiddos, borrow this idea from Ohio STEM teacher Mike Ransford, a quote, pathological optimist, unquote, who between classes holds up handmade signs with random sayings, puns, song lyrics, and other hilarities that have resulted in conversations and connections with students outside his classes. Reach out to Mike if you're looking to replicate this idea. I think now more than ever, making connections is key. Thank you for the idea and for the laughs, Mike. And that's it. The top 5 finds on Twitter from the past week. I hope you find them useful for your teacher life. Links from today's show are below. Feel free to share this video with your colleagues or to use in TBTs and faculty meetings. And if you need anything in the way of free coaching or micro learning opportunities, please don't hesitate to reach out. My contact info is in the show notes too. I'm Stephanie DeMichael, learning designer and instructional coach with the Educational Service Center of Northeast Ohio. Thank you so much, so much for watching and supporting, and I'll see you next week.